AJ, what do I have to do to make $500,000? Guys, are you getting this? This is really the breakdown of what you need to be doing on a daily basis to make what you want to make in your pocket monthly, quarterly, annually. All right, guys, so thank you for setting this time aside so that we can go ahead and do some amazing training with Aaron. So as we know him, AJ. All right, AJ, thank you for taking this time. Many of this training, guys, is going to go ahead and it'll help in a couple of aspects of, the whys, but really what AJ's partnering up with us is to help them just shift the mindset so that we can achieve some of these goals that we like to achieve. As you know, AJ has been doing neuro-linguistic programming. That's where we basically met each other, but he went ahead and delved into it even more. So AJ, thank you for your time. Go ahead and take yourself off mute. I'll go ahead and go on mute and take it away, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Karen. And yes, it's been an amazing 5 years since I've met. I think it's been about 5 years since I've met Karen, and it's been an incredible journey. And so I know most of us have our cameras off, but all I ask is that we put the cameras on if we are in a place where we're able to. Whenever I speak, I like to have some interaction. So I will ask you guys to unmute yourself as we go along because I like the participation. It's not the AJ show. It's all about us as a community. And I don't know about you guys, but who's really excited for 2023? I am. I know Karen is. She's super excited. We spent a lot of time on the phone together. And there are some amazing things that are going to come our way. So I don't know if you guys have any massive income goals or, things that you want to accomplish, but that's what this call is really about to launch us into is an amazing 2023. And so today we're really going to talk about goals. So how many of us have heard of like SMART goals? Most of us probably. Right? And so when it comes to SMART goals, does anyone want to share what a SMART goal is? All right.
AJ, I don't know if you want to repeat that because I noticed Adriana just joined. If you want to repeat that question.
Perfect. So today we're talking about goals, Adriana, especially leading into the 2023 year. And so we're going to be going over some SMART goals. So can someone tell me what SMART goal means, what SMART stands for?
Not everybody at once. So S for specific.
S is for specific, right? And M is for measurable. It's got to be something you can measure. If it's too ambiguous, it's really a state, not a goal. And then it's got to be attainable. It's got to be something that's actually achievable that you can actually complete. Then the R, it's got to be realistic and reachable. At the end of the time, there has to be a time set in order to achieve it. Now, I want to introduce a new letter to these SMART goals, and it's the letter Y. Why do you guys want to achieve these goals? What is it really going to do for you, for your family, and your future? Right. So if you're looking to make the first time you've ever hit $250,000 in a year, what would that really do for your family? Right? Would that allow you to buy a new home or an investment property or take your family on a dream vacation or put away some money for college for your kids? Whatever that may be, there has to be a why, a reason behind it. Otherwise, we're less likely to achieve what that goal really is. And so sometimes the first thing that comes to mind isn't really the why. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves why 7 times. Well, why do you want that? Why do you want that? Why do you want that? To get down into the root of what's really going to drive us. Because, as we know that our roots, our beliefs, our values is what really drives our behaviors. And so we want to connect that to our goal. And so who here has a goal already set for 2023? If you can do a little reaction or come off mute and say, I do. Anyone?
Who's got their 2023 goals? At least something in their head. You don't have to share what it is, but who has a goal in their head?
I do.
I do.
Yeah, you do, AC. Yeah, you do, Karen. So I hope all of you do as well. And we're going to go through, and who here out of their goal has a plan to actually achieve it? I know Karen does. We just talked about it extensively.
Kind of.
Casey, absolutely. And
It's
so,
in there. So at least you're thinking about it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
absolutely. And so, what we know about goals is what we do today is going to impact us 90 days from now, especially in our industry in real estate and lending, is that what we do today is not going to pay us in a week. It's probably not going to pay us in a month. It's really going to pay us 3 months or longer down the road. And so, with the help of Karen, we put together an amazing tool to help break down what do you need to do on a daily basis to hit those goals. Right now, this is primarily around the realtor side. Lending is a little bit different because if it's broken down differently, just how you guys operate with referrals, things like that. So you guys are going to get a link to this, and it looks a little confusing at first, I will admit. However, the red are the inputs that are going to change all of the numbers here to combine, right? So let's just say that you want to make $100,000, right? I put that on average, it's going to take about 90, like we basically make, if our commission is $10,000, on average, we make about 9,000 because there's like costs that are incurred for acquiring the deal, whether it's commission splits, it's marketing, it's our expenses, things like that. And you can change this number as you want based on what your average is per deal, right? And so I just use 0.9 for easy math when it comes down to it. So if you wanted to take home $100,000, basically you would be spent, your total commissions that you need to earn is $111,111.11. It breaks it down to your 90-day income goal, your monthly goal, and basically what you make per week, right? And so what you'll see on the right-hand side is the commission goal. This is what the checks that go into Karen from the transaction, what you get paid through escrow. And this is what's going to hit your account after all expenses and things are done that either you pay for or come out before they hit your account, right? And so the average commission, some people might be in a great market where they're selling $1 million homes and their average commission is $30,000. So the annual number of units you need to hit to make $100,000 is only 4. But that's not the case. We're not all selling $30 or $100 million properties every single month. So on average, it's about $10,000, give or take, right? And so in order to do that, you need to do 11 transactions in the total year. That's 3 every 90 days. That's about 1 a month, okay? Now, in order to get to have that 1 appointment, we have to book appointments. We have to have people to meet with. They don't just appear out of nowhere, right? There's prospecting, there's lead generation, things and like activity that we have to do as realtors and lenders on an everyday basis to generate that for us. And so if we booked 111 appointments to meet with people, to have consultations, to do a listing appointment, whatever it may be, the average may show, you may get 33 that actually are willing to move forward or meet with you a second time, whatever it may be. And so when it comes down to it, the average person really only closes maybe 25% of the time out of all the leads that that come in. So just because you get a lead does not mean you actually have a transaction or a guaranteed transaction, right? And so what's beautiful and what I want to commend Karen for is we're going to start implementing regular trainings on a weekly basis to really build the skill sets, because the difference between closing at a 20-25% ratio and an 80-85 plus ratio is simply coaching. Learning those skill sets that are going to take us to the next level, from communication to negotiation to the way we present ourselves to reading body language to understanding how to really effectively communicate to our clients, the other agents, and get more deals without as much activity, right? And so in this situation, we'd really need to make about 50 calls a day, or 50 calls a day just to get 1 deal a month. We could do that, but let's be honest, most of us don't really want to do just 1 a month, right? So if we want to go door knocking for those realtors or even lenders looking for deals, is you on average need to at least knock 100 doors a day to make $100,000. But we're not all here to make just 100,000, right? We want to make at least 250,000. So in order to do that, then what? That doubles all of our production that we need to do. So now we need to make 111 calls a day, knock 289, 300 doors a day.
I'm gonna stop you, AJ, because you're getting really, really good information. Guys, did you hear that? I mean, did you actually hear that? He's asking, okay, how many calls? 50 to get one transaction a month, and you're saying about 100,000, right? And we're saying, no, but we want to do more than that. Guys, who wants to do more than 100? Who isn't doing 100 and says, hey, I need to do at least 100,000 so that real estate thing that I'm doing really, exactly, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Hasty. So this really real estate thing really takes off. Many individuals think that real estate is just whatever, but we have to pay car dues, NAR dues, and basically our MLS quarterly dues. Plus we have our super key. We have expenses, guys. We need to justify those expenses by making money, and not just making it, but really excelling at it. So when AJ's saying 100, guys, 150, well, let's bring it up a notch, 200. Hey, 250,000. Are we there yet? Do we have somebody says, forget 250,000, I'm looking for 300. AJ, what do I have to do to make 500,000? Guys, are you getting this? This is really the breakdown of what you need to be doing on a daily basis to make what you want to make in your pocket. Monthly, quarterly, annually. All right. Sorry about that interjection. Keep going, AJ.
Oh, no, you're good. And I appreciate that. Please feel free to jump in anytime you want, because that is gold. And guys, how long does it really take to make 100 phone calls? If you're doing it by hand, maybe 2 hours. But if you have a dialer, I promise you it takes an hour.
An hour.
So you literally could work 1 hour a day and make $250,000 a year. If you want a door knock, which is
an hour a day, 250,000, I'll raise my hand.
Right? But let's say you don't have 100 numbers to call. What do you have to do? You have to go out and prospect. You've got to go where the people are, whether that's door knocking, social media. If you don't know what to post on social media, follow people in the industry, watch their video, and shoot the exact same video with the exact same content.
Yep.
What's working for them will work for you, and know who you are, where you're at, and what you really want to accomplish in the market that you're in, right? And if it really takes in order to knock about 250 doors, it takes about 4 hours, right? And so between those two things, what's going to end up happening is if you made 116 calls, you'll probably make 23 contacts. If you knocked
contacts, nice.
If you knocked 289 doors, you'll probably make 29 contacts with the average answer rate. Because we can't control whether or not they answer, but we can control our activity. And if we do the activity, maybe we might get 5 contacts one day, but the next day we might get 40. It's the consistency and the repetition of doing these things that are going to lead to the results that we ultimately want. And then what happens? Now you got these contacts, you've helped the client. Now you can go ask for referrals. Hey, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who can I go and help? Who has a question about real estate that I can answer? We're in the service industry. We're not in the real estate industry. We are in the service industry, and real estate happens to be the product.
Yeah.
But you are the one who's providing the service. And so with service comes value, and with value becomes income. So our goal on a daily basis is to touch base with 50 people. 50 people will literally turn into $500,000, $1 million over time, because that's the bare minimum goal. If you get 100 contacts, whatever it may be. But let me give you a little tip on this. Time is the number one resource that we all have. If you hired a virtual assistant or an assistant and you paid them minimum wage to do these phone calls and reaching out with text message and follow up and all of that, you just gave yourself an hour back to do all these other things, right? And same thing when it comes to the transactions. Delegate. I would rather pay a transaction coordinator, a personal assistant to do all the paperwork, all the back and forth, and make 85% instead of the 90%. Because guess what? I just got more time back to go meet more people to get another deal. So I will give up whatever percentage I need, even if it's 25%, by all means take it. Because what I know on the other end, that means that time that I got back, that's another 2 or 3 deals. So I'll trade 25% for another 150% of what I never would have had in the first place.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So this, guys, is so crucial. Like, let's just say you wanted to make $500,000. It's really not that hard in real estate. You need to make 250 calls a day. That's 2 hours, 2.5 hours. If you
And
use
with coaching in other sessions, AJ is going to show you how to slash that drastically where you don't even have to do that.
Absolutely, because what's the key number here? We need 56 transactions to make $500,000 at $10,000. That's 56 people you need to say yes. Right? We spend a lot of time overcoming objections and it's like, how do we overcome the no? We want to have those skill sets, yes. But if we keep following up with the same people that say no, 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 and we're not going to find a yes, we're literally beating our head against the wall, right? So that's where the coaching is really going to come in handy, is if we aren't open to coaching and we aren't open to learning, what's going to end up happening? We're going to end up beating our head against the wall and our results are going to stay the same year after year. It's the definition of insanity. Are we insane or are we sane? Or are we sane here? Like, we are the epitome. Like, I want Lighthouse Realty and Firm Foundation Finances to be the epitome of real estate excellence, because this is the industry, this is the culture that we want to bring people into that help them not only thrive in business, but in life. Because all the skill sets that you're going to learn for business really apply to every area of our life. And so these are just based off the average ratios in the industry. And I know you guys are above average. And if you don't feel like you are, well, we're about to impart the greatness that Karen has and way she's developed into you guys. So that way you don't need to make 230 calls a day per se. But if you're consistent, these 56 will come from 100 contacts that you might have had. So your closing ratios will double and triple and quadruple. Like, if you could quadruple your double, what would that do for you? What would this really do?
Quadruple your double, guys. Do you guys understand that? Quadruple your double. So you take whatever you were making, you multiply it by 4, and then you double that. Quadruple your double. All right, keep going.
Absolutely. So, guys, this is literally the breakdown. This isn't obviously going to work for everybody. You have to work. It just doesn't happen. And with being in real estate, you guys are the rainmakers of the industry. Nothing else happens if you don't work. Escrow doesn't get paid. Lenders don't get paid. Inspection companies don't get paid. Repair companies don't get paid. Like, you guys literally feed the industry. Makes my phone start ringing.
Yeah.
Cool. And so with that is, it's up to you guys. You guys have a team of support around you, but at the end of the day, it's your license. And I just had a really good conversation with Karen, is that there will be a training coming along the way, but you are responsible for everything that happens in the transaction. Whether you directly say it or not, you're responsible for what your TC says. You're responsible for what escrow says. You're responsible for what the other agent says. Whatever is communicated is your responsibility to make sure it's in writing, it's clear, and that you protect yourself. And guess what? If you made an $85,000 mistake and you're liable, do you have the income to overcome that? Or will that take you out of business because you didn't do the simple daily discipline of making some phone calls or knocking on some doors? Right.
And guys, this is huge. I'm going to do a video. I just got off an amazing E&O call with an attorney, and some of the points they hit are just huge in terms of, I don't want to go into it, but I'm going to do a video. But wow, I was blown away by some of the points this attorney made. Keep going.
Absolutely. So, guys, you really want to get down to tracking your numbers at the end of the day. Just track how many calls you made, track how many people answered, how many appointments did you set, and really understand what your ratios are, because that's your business. That's how business becomes predictable. There's a reason the same top producers are top producers every year, because they know exactly what to do, how to do it, and they know that how many inputs they need to get the output that they want. Right. And one beautiful thing is, you guys don't have to be the one responsible for doing all of this. You can build a team, you can hire assistants, you can do all of those things. I promise you, if you want to get to more than $250,000, you're going to need to hire an assistant or leverage one that's already provided for you, because time is value, right? So does anyone have any questions on how to use this or anything like that? We're just going to change the red inputs and everything else will automatically calculate for yourself from there.
The link was sent in the Skype group chat, guys. Did everybody get that link? I know a couple of you guys are on.
Yes, I got it.
You got it? Okay, perfect. So that is the link to the Google form. So you can play with it and see exactly what you have to do to get to the numbers you want. And I know AJ was hitting on the real estate, but you can also apply this to the lending by putting in the figures, and it'll convert for you as well. And the beautiful thing is, when you are a lender and in real estate, you do have two sources of income. And because Firm Foundation and Lighthouse are affiliated, you do have that benefit that you could be a lender and a realtor. So.
Quick question. I just click on the link right now,
Yes.
and it's only allowing me to do view only. Is there a way we can download the Excel form, AJ?
Yes.
Okay.
Let
me see if it will let me download it. Okay, hold on. I think it did allow me. Let me see. I just want to make sure it will open up.
Sometimes it gives you the bar on top to edit.
Okay, so
yeah. Okay, I was able to.
You should be able to edit.
Perfect. Yes, I downloaded
Awesome.
it.
Thank you, Hasty, for bringing that up. So, guys, if it does say view only, you can kind of play with it, so it allows you to edit and you can save as.
Perfect. Awesome. So as much as we want to achieve our goals, we love the pleasure of what it could potentially bring us. But guess what? Everybody, you, your clients, everyone that you know is motivated by one of two things: pain or pleasure. We've talked about the pleasure side, but if you are truly serious about hitting these goals, you will set a consequence for yourself if you don't. And the only way that it truly works and truly remain accountable is you give the key to that consequence to somebody else. And I'll give you an example. So I had a girl that we work with. She really wanted to lose 40 pounds. She had the goal, she had the daily activity that she needed to hit, and she had the reward that she was going to get if she completed it, but she didn't really know what her consequence wanted to be. So her husband came in and said, you know what? They're a very conservative family. He's like, you know what? I know how much you love Gavin Newsom. So if you don't hit your goal, I will donate on your behalf with a written letter to his re-election campaign and post it to your social media. And whether or not she wanted it to happen, he was going to do it. And that level of accountability drove her to actually hit her goal ahead of time, because there was no way on earth she was going to let that be the case. And so she was actually more motivated by the pain of the consequence than she was by the results of getting the weight loss and the money and everything that was going to come from it. So the key is you cannot be responsible for your own consequence, because guess what? We don't like to punish ourselves. But somebody who loves us enough to do it will. Whether that's Karen, one of us here, like, you've got to be willing to put something out there to lose. There has to be something you're willing to lose. Otherwise, it's it'll be nice. I'm already behind. It's already halfway through the year. I'm only at 50,000. There's no way I can get to 250. And we start to make excuses because there's no consequence. Mm-hmm. So if you're truly serious, make a consequence that's going to hurt. There's got to be pain involved on an emotional level. So
the carrot and the stick, basically, right?
Exactly. Pleasure. Exactly. And guess what? The horse is really motivated by the stick, not the carrot.
You guys understand that, guys? Pain and pleasure. The pleasure of you getting everything you would like with that income, and the pain of you not getting it and something that's really going to hurt you. Wow. Yeah.
Absolutely. So with that, I am super excited for 2023. And you guys are the first ones to hear about this next thing, because we have a little bit of an announcement, don't we, Karen?
We do.
So how many of you, go ahead, I would love to see your reaction. How many of you like to compete? like to win. Who likes to get awards and be recognized for doing a great job? Am I the only one? Is Hasty the only one?
Are we the only ones?
I think we're the only ones, right?
I think we're the only
don't
ones
think
that
so.
like awards and like competition and games.
Right. So that's what's coming in 2023, guys, is we're really going to ramp up the competition amongst the office, friendly competition, and really push each other to do better, to do more, to really help our communities, which ultimately helps us and our own families achieve all the things that we want to achieve. Right. So we're going to have production awards, volume awards. And at the end of the year, guess what? We're going to have one award who's going to go to the biggest light in the community.
Yeah.
Everyone call it the little lighthouse award. So
that's
you
nice.
want to be the one who makes the biggest impact and the impact on the most families all around basis. It's not just about who made the most money.
Do I get to compete, AJ? Do I get to compete?
Karen gets to compete. Karen she absolutely gets to compete because guess what? We want to beat the best. What's the point of winning if you don't get to beat the best, right? So Karen
We've got some people on mute that are very good, so this is going to be fun.
Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to it and competing with you guys and really sharing with each other what works. What's working for one may work for somebody else, if that may not. We're all individual people, right? We get to stay true to who we are because guess what? I can go into an Asian family. I might not get the deal because I might not speak Mandarin. That's one reason why I've lost it. I didn't know the wife was Chinese. Like the guy was like, yes, absolutely, we want to use you. And then the wife came in and the next day when I met her, she speak only Mandarin. I was like, oh, so they needed a Chinese speaking realtor that could make her feel comfortable. So I didn't get the deal, right? Then that's what it is. But we will teach you all the skill sets you need to increase, double, quadruple production with just a few small shifts. So with that, I will give it back to you, Karen. Super excited to really get to know each of you more because I haven't gotten that much of a chance to connect with a lot of you, but it is going to be an amazing 2023.
I love it. I love you. Okay. Love you, AJ. You're amazing. Guys, I want you to get to know AJ. He is very motivational. He's really willing to guide you in what are the next steps with me. You know, in terms of, I'm not going to say, hey, here you go with AJ, forget about me. No, we're going to guide you to the next steps. But I really want AJ to be somebody that is a key person in motivating you because he's amazing at it. Okay. And he really has a heart for people, which you guys know is a huge component to what I do and how I do it. So next steps, make time on Mondays so that you can watch what these individuals we bring, you know, just give you tools to excel and just sometimes shift things, that 1%, that 1 degree that makes all the difference in your production, in your business, in your goals, and maybe your time. I had somebody that was speaking about, I don't have enough time. They've got 24 hours, same as everybody else. But why is it that some individuals have more time than others? Because they had 3 assistants, and those 3 assistants dedicated 8 hours to them. So by them delegating things on their list, all of a sudden 8 hours, they had only 2 hours of stuff that they were working on. Now they had an additional, they had 24 hours and that were jam-packed. They were hardly sleeping, no time with family. Now they got to spend time with family. They got to sleep. They got to go work out. They had more time to dedicate to what really made sense. At the end of the day, what does it make sense for you to do? What really makes the money? Is it checking off the boxes? Is it sitting there and doing things that anybody else can do? Or really concentrating on what makes you the money, which is the negotiating, which is talking to people, which is connecting. And keep in mind, when you're connecting, and AJ's talking about these 50 people, if you have something where you go to the store and you talk to 3 people and you had your name badge, or you just came up to somebody and you talked to them and you said, hey, by the way, this is what I do. You give them a card. That's a connection, guys. It doesn't have to be this deep connection of I have to go knock on doors. Yes, go knock on doors. But it doesn't have to be that. I've had it where I go to an event and I talk to all these people at the school and they know what I do because I'm not a secret agent. I tell everybody what I do and I just work it into the conversation all the time so that they understand that that's who I am. That's what I do. It's part of my daily ritual to work on real estate and help people with their goals. And I was talking to somebody earlier today, you know who you are. They were telling me, hey, with the rates the way they are, with clients and how they think, how are we going to help them? They're not going to want to. And I said, whoa, if you're saying no to yourself and not letting the client speak up, that's a horrible way to start. Because I'm here to help somebody with their goal. And at the end of the day, if you have a goal and you've come to me to help you with it, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. So if you need to, like, if you say, hey, I need to reach across and get a mile from here, I'm going to grab your hand and say, okay, let's start jogging. Or, hey, let's call that Lyft. Let's call that Uber. But I have to spend on Lyft. I have to spend on Uber. Wait, am I going to sweat? Hold on. Am I going to? Yes, you are. Because you came to me to ask, what do you need to do to get there? And at the end of the day, I'm not going to talk about lights and maybe tripping and maybe falling and maybe your ankle and maybe getting tired and maybe sweating. No, I'm going to talk about, hey, I'm going to get you there. I know how to get there. Grab my hand. I'm going to do this with you. Guess what? We're already a third of the way there. Hey, I'm going to talk to you about what's going to happen when we get there. Hey, guess what? We've already made it halfway there. Oh my gosh. And we're almost there. And who's going to be at the finish line? And who are we going to invite to the finish line? And guess what? The finish line is within view now. And oh my gosh, you know what? We're here. If we think about all the obstacles, we'll never get started. But guess what? We're here. And guys, when you bring them across the finish line, hey, did you enjoy my help? Did you appreciate my help? I did it with all my heart. And guess what? Who else can benefit from my help? And that's what we're here for. So guys, tune in Mondays. We're going to be recording, giving you the tools. I'm going to record a video in a bit on the E&O and really some just huge, I would say nuggets, but these aren't nuggets. These were just, man, milestones this attorney was going over in terms of what he's seeing in the market right now, especially with some of the changes that have occurred. So AJ, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
I'm sorry, I got a phone call. It jumped.
No worries. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
No, that's it, guys. Really dig deep into the why, figure out what the goal is you want. You've got the breakdown to know exactly what you need to do on a daily basis. And if it seems overwhelming, split it with somebody, right? Maybe you guys can partner with each other and say, hey, I'll do 50, you do 50, and we go 50-50 on whatever deal comes out of these together, right? It's not all about you. There's a way to build your business, build your life that doesn't require all of your time to do so. So
I love it. Guys, next Monday at 10:30, we are going to have Mike Garcia from 5 Star Bank. He's going to be talking about commercial transactions. Who's ever wanted to learn more about commercial, doing real estate in commercial or lending in commercial? Guys, you do not want to miss this one. We're going to have Tom Roach as well. He's going to be talking to us about the farming. Again, why do I keep bringing them in? Guys, this makes a difference if you use the tools. If you have the tools and you don't use them, it's like not having them. So bringing the tool again so that you can use it, so you can see these ratios, these logarithms that they use to be able to make your time productive. So if you're going to knock on 50 doors, 20 doors, 100 doors, you want to be sure that you're knocking on the right ones, and that's what they're going to do for us. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. Please reach out if there's anything. And AJ, again, thank you guys, the ones that attended live. Thank you so much for your time. We're here to be of service and get you to whatever goal 2023 has in store for you. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Karen.
All right, thank you guys. Take care, and we'll be talking soon.